Okay, so now that we've talked about the benefits of viral traffic, let's get down to the nitty-gritty and talk about some of the questions that you may have right now. And first and foremost in your mind is likely, how do I make my message go viral? Well, there are no guarantees, obviously, in life and also in viral traffic generation, but there are things that you can do that will increase your chances of success. So successful viral marketing is a mixture of skill, timing, know-how, and luck when it comes down to it. You might get lucky right out of the gate, find the technique that works for you, and hit pay dirt. Might take you 10 times to find the one that really works for you. The key is here, just keep at it, because you will find one method at least that will drive quality traffic to your website. The key to successful viral marketing is to be unique. I mean, we've probably all received emails, I know I have, from friends that point me to a YouTube video, and it's something obviously that's caught the attention of millions of people, potentially, worldwide, because it's unique in some way, shape, or form. It's either really funny, or it's a new take on something that's been done before, or it's visually unique. Any one of these will cause people to pay attention and pass the message along. So if you can think outside of the box with your message, you're really going to increase your chances of success. So the 21 viral traffic generation methods we're about to dive into, it's important before we get started to remember that internet users are pretty savvy. They're not silly people. Typically they're not the 12 o'clock flashing on the VCR type of people. If they've spent any amount of time on the internet, they've been exposed to a number of different things. So always keep that in mind. Don't think that don't assume that you're more clever than they are, or that you've got one up on them in any way, shape, or form. Just always keep in mind that they're just as savvy as you are, and therefore it's easy for them to recognize a cheap knockoff. If you're just replicating and duplicating something you've seen out there before, they're not going to waste any time on it. They're going to skip along to the next email or website link or whatever. So what we want to do in order to be successful with viral traffic generation is to give them something useful and unique. If we can do that, then, as we've seen countless times before, the message will spread like wildfire. If you can become skilled at viral traffic generation, the traffic flood that results from this just won't stop. Once your message is out there, it propagates and spreads and multiplies, and the traffic might start as a trickle at first, but quickly develops into a torrent, and it spreads to corners of the world that you hadn't planned on, and so this traffic flood just keeps coming in. So it's important to remember, though, that there might not be any one method we're about to discuss that will give you huge success. It's more likely that you're going to have to employ several of these methods to create that flood. One or two might bring in a trickle at a time. Others might bring more traffic, but added together, all of these different methods, the more you use, the greater the likelihood you're going to succeed and drive a huge amount of traffic to your website. So find the ones that look like they'll work for you, that you're more comfortable starting with, and give them a shot first. And again, as I said earlier, think outside of the box. If you can find something, if you find an existing message out there, a website or a YouTube video, and it caught your attention, start with that. Work with that as a base. Try and adapt it. Make it unique, but there's certainly no harm in starting with an existing good idea and taking it from there to create something that's completely your own. So, let's start looking at the 21 traffic generation methods. So the first method, method number 1, provide quality content, products, or services. So what does this entail? Well, the famous quote from a Kevin Costner movie is, "If you build it, they will come." And so that applies in many things, and also to internet content. So if we create good quality, unique content, word will spread. A well-written article, ebook, anything like that. If it's well written and provides good content, it will promote itself. You won't have to do anything. It's important when you're writing to find your quote-unquote voice, right? You might be an expert in a field. You may have a natural comedic touch. Do you have strong opinions about topics? Take these strengths, whatever strengths that you have, and apply them to online content. It doesn't have to be directly related to, anything you may currently be working on. Find something that you will find easy to write about. So you may have strong political views. We've seen so many political pundits on TV. They're making a killing just from expressing their opinion. There's no reason you can't do the same thing in digital print. Writing comedic blog posts. Comedy spreads. Everyone likes to laugh. Are you an expert in gardening or, scrapbooking? Anything like that. If you really have writer's block and you can't get past it, there's always the option to outsource. But always remember, you get what you pay for. It's tempting to go for the cheapest option, but often that comes with less than desirable results. So really be diligent about what your criteria are when you're looking for writers online. So method number 2, give stuff away. Free stuff. People love freebies. I can't think of anyone who doesn't like something that's for free. When someone finds something that's useful and it's free, how do you think that they're going to feel about that? They're probably going to be pretty happy about it. Do you think they'll tell their friends and family about what they've just found? Probably. Right? So let's take advantage of this natural inclination to, spread the word when you think you found something that's too good to be true. In this case, it is true. And you can quickly build a base of loyal followers. Once you start, building this base by getting this message out there, and it spreads quickly if you're giving stuff away. It doesn't have to be anything that costs a lot. Let's just make that perfectly clear. Once you start building that base of loyal followers, you can offer premium services or content for a fee. So if you were wondering originally, where's the payoff in giving stuff away for free? Well, it's to build your list. Okay, it's always about building the list.